it was the exact experience that I made myself today. Okay, if I did not quit the job, right, I would think that I will still have income and I won't put in my 100% of the effort to make things happen, and I will live a mediocre life. Can you say I will just be like most of the people in the society, just work on a job that they don't like, they just complain their boss, complain their company, but they just continue to go to the office every day. Hey everyone, welcome to Empowered Liion.
This channel is about guiding you to live a life you desire by integrating your passion into your career.
We want to show you how you can make enough money while doing what you truly love. It is not a myth.
And we are doing this right now.
Yeah. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about a very famous podcaster. His name is called Steven Bartlett. He has a book with the same name as his podcast. The name of the podcast is The Diary of CEO.
The podcast was Global Top 9 on Spotify in 2023. In his show, he interviewed the top talents in the world like entrepreneurs, athletics, and scientists. Here are some examples of the guests that he invited. For example, Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, Tim Ferriss, who wrote 4-Hour Work Week, and finally Jay Shetty, which is the author of Think Like a Monk.
Now, he is not just a podcaster, but Steven is an investor of more than 40 companies, and his net worth is more than $100 million, and he is just 21 years old in 2024. But before this, right, he was born in a very poor family. He is a black, so he was being discriminated since young. And during his upbringing, he didn't finish the university. At age of 22, he founded a social media marketing company called Social Chain, and later became the CEO and co-founder of Flight Story, which is an innovative marketing agency, and Third Web, a software company, and also an investment fund called Flight Fund.
In this book, he integrated his experience and what he learned from the successful people he interviewed, come up with 33 laws that can be used by anyone who is trying to build something great or become someone great. He stated in his book that these laws are not business strategy that will change. Instead, these are about the fundamentals that will work even 100 years from now. Today, we'll share the top 7 laws that resonate the most with us in this episode.
Now, thanks, Belle, for introducing about the book. Now, I will straight away go into law number 1. In his book, right, he stated that there are 5 buckets in your professional life, which are knowledge, skills, network, resources, and reputation. And you need to fill that 5 buckets in the right order to ensure professional success. For example, in knowledge, this is where you learn the theoretical knowledge about a certain field. And then in skills, right, this is where you practically showcase what you have learned. And through these skills, you will gain your network. People will know you doing what you are doing. And from there, because you are so good at what you are doing, you gain resources, you know the people, or you know the ways to look for more information. And then finally, you will gain reputation. So when you are looking for a job, for example, you need to prioritize the jobs that teach you knowledge and skills over those offering higher pay but fewer learning opportunities. Now, Belle, do you have maybe an example to showcase on this?
Okay, so for me personally, I'm a student nurse. So initially, I keep asking questions and follow full-time nurse in the hospital during my posting to learn the procedures. And then the nurses saw me as a proactive student and that have the attention better than other student nurses. One day, there was a procedure on a new machine that even full-time nurses did not know how to operate. So I went to YouTube and followed the step and demonstrated it to them. Eventually, I solved their problems and became a mini star in the world. So do you get it? You have to gain all the knowledge and skills first. After that, you'll slowly build up your network. Then you have to get a lot of resources. It's either through the knowledge and skills that you have learned or through the network that you have built out. Then finally, that can lead you to the reputation.
Wow, Belle, it seems like you have read the book and then you apply the knowledge, isn't it?
Actually, I didn't read the book before, but I heard this knowledge somewhere else or someone told me about this. I can't really remember exactly.
I see. So, because uh the the tip that he mentioned, right? He actually mentioned, like Steven mentioned it in a lot of his interviews, that you need to fill your 5 buckets in the right order. So it seems like a very important tip, okay, that you need to take note of.
Yeah, so in our daily life, right, you can actually easily observe that actually we are following this order,
Yeah,
but a lot of people may not know about this theory. So when you introduce this theory to me, right, so I suddenly feel like it makes sense though because we are actually doing this in our own daily life from day to day.
yeah, I think so. I think some of you guys, the audience, you should also have this kind of experience before. Yeah, so I think we can just move on, okay, to the second law.
Sure, without further ado, the second law of this book is force yourself to teach others to master something. So the concept is you have to teach what you have learned to others, help you to master the subject. So Steven Bartlett shared his daily learnings on social media, which forced him to review and consolidate his knowledge, leading to significant personal growth and a massive following over 10 years. Daniel, do you have any similar experience to Steven?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is at the exact same pathway that I took when I was an investing coach. Because if you have listened to the previous podcast, the first podcast, I introduced that I was an investing coach, and what I wanted to do is that I want to enhance my investing skills back then. So what I did was that I did a thorough research about the stock market, about companies, to do the fundamental analysis. Okay, and then I combine knowledge from different sources and then make it into simpler terms so the beginners can understand. So after I've gained those knowledge, right? I've consolidated everything. I shared to my friends and I posted on Facebook, okay, to share my content for free, because I only know if I really learned something through simplification. Okay? Because Albert Einstein once said this: if you cannot explain it simply, you don't know it well enough. Okay, so I was practicing this skill. Okay, I read a lot of complex reports from the companies. Okay, then I simplified it. Okay, then I shared it to people. So eventually, I managed to build a 7-figure financial education company and had students paying me yearly subscriptions for my coaching program. So this is how I really forced myself to showcase my knowledge to others to kind of master something in the field.
Wow, that's amazing, Daniel. So, yeah, and actually for myself, right, I have a very similar experience, but a very simple one. Let me just quickly share about it. So, in year one, right, actually in our lab session, I have learned how to measure the blood glucose level for patient because in hospital we have to measure it like according to the prescription in order to know if our patient's still all right, especially for those diabetic patient or those patients who are currently new by mouth. That mean like they cannot eat anything due to a ongoing or upcoming procedure. So in year one, actually, we have a session called peer teaching. Like somebody need to teach us about the skill. So my friend actually was teaching us about this, but I didn't really like focus on that because we don't need to practice about it. I didn't really know. And until year two, I was a locum in a local hospital, then that become my job scope. That means like I have to take the blood glucose level every day. So that's the time I really have to learn it. So I learned from a nurse and then I practice it daily, like every 4 hourly. So that means like 9 o'clock I took already, then the next one will be 1 o'clock. Until actually there's a group of students, they're actually same age as me, same level as me, as well as both are year two students. And then they surprisingly they do not know how to like take the blood glucose level.
Seriously?
Yeah, so actually I can really like relate to them lah. So that's the time I try to teach them. And then when they finish their posting, right, then another batch of students come in. So the same thing, I keep teaching them. There are quite a number of them, so I have to take one student one time. So I just teach them individually until I really can explain it in a very simple way, which make them like can really master it in a very short time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think this law is really, really powerful. In order to master something, you have to really learn it by yourself and then you try to use the simplest way to teach it to people.
Yeah, that's great. Now I will just move on to the third law that resonates the most with us. Steven stated in his book that about this: don't state facts, but ask binary questions instead. So what happened is that every single day we have got something to do. For example, you say, no, I will go to the gym today. So this is a fact. Okay, instead of stating this fact, right, we want to ask binary questions like, will I go to the gym today? Because when you state the facts, right, our subconscious will kind of tell us, give us some excuses. For example, no, I slept late last night, let's skip for today. I don't want to go to the gym today. But when you ask, will I go to the gym today? This question forces a commitment and it increases the likelihood of the behavior.
Yeah, this is actually to a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. So it actually introduced that we have to ask empowering questions rather than just making limiting statements. So in the book, Kiyosaki emphasizes the importance of a positive mindset and the power of asking questions like, how can I afford this? Instead of saying, I can't afford this. This shift in thinking encourages problem solving and opens up opportunities for creativity and resourcefulness.
Yeah, this is a great example. Actually, there are a lot of other books also mentioned about this. So the key thing is you ask a question, then that is where your brain kind of opens up and then gives you more resources and opportunities.
Yeah, especially for you, if you are currently educating students or you are bringing up your children, it is very important for you to ask questions instead of just give them a fact. For example, actually last week I went to an open house hosted by an international school. So Mensa actually came to set up a booth there and I was listening to them at that moment. Then a father actually brought his son just passing by. Then his son felt like the thing is very interesting and he wanted to give it a try. But the dad just say, no lah, this thing is very tough for you. You can't do it. But actually in the bottom of the heart, I was thinking like, why don't you ask the children? Why don't you ask your child like how can you solve it instead of telling them that they can't do it? It is kind of negative to me.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what Mensa is, it is actually an organization which consists of many high IQ level people. And then on that day, the booth that Mensa was setting up, it included a few puzzles that were very interesting, and there are people that trying to solve them. So the kid was one of them, but eventually he didn't manage to. He didn't even try to solve the problem because his dad just moved him away.
Yeah, that's very sad. But anyway, let's move on to the fourth law, which is leverage the Goldilocks effect when selling. So the concept is we have to present options in a way that makes the middle choice appear most attractive. This psychological phenomenon makes the moderately priced option seem like the best value. So for example, when we are trying to offer people with choices, we offer three versions of a product: a high-end, a basic, and a middle option. This can often leads to the middle option being the most popular, as it appears reasonably priced compared to the extremes.
Yeah, so regarding to this, I had the exact same mindset about 2 years ago. Okay, because where there was time I needed to buy a height adjustable table whereby I can sit down or even stand up to work. So I was looking at the e-commerce website to see which are the options that I can buy. So I saw there are three variants. So the first one is actually the lowest kind of variant, okay, with just two buttons like up and down for the table. And then the price of the table, it was very cheap. And then the look, it was like a toy. Okay, so this is something that I don't really like, and then the review was not very good. Okay, so in my mind, this is like the cheapest, the lousiest kind of table, okay, that I saw. Yeah. Then the second variant that I saw, okay, it was in the middle one. Okay, so there was two buttons as well, up and down, with an extra three preset heights to save. Can you say I can set my height at a certain level? Okay, so I can have like three heights, okay, for memory. Okay, so the price of this table, it was slightly expensive. Okay, then the look, it was like pretty okay. It doesn't look like a toy. Yeah. Yeah, so for me, right, I saw this, it was pretty good. Okay, but I went on to look at the next level. Okay, so the third variant, right, it was the highest variant. So whatever the middle one, okay, the middle variant one has, okay, so this one the highest one is included. Okay, and this table, okay, the highest variant, it has a row of power sockets, which the two variants don't have, and it looks more grand and high class, and the quality is much more better.
Wow,
Yeah, but when I look at the price, right, it was crazy. The price was triple than the middle one.
it's truly crazy.
Yeah, so I was thinking, because I need to, logically justify whether I should purchase which one. Okay, so I was thinking that the extra row of power sockets, it is not worth three times the price. Of course, the highest one, it looks more, it looks better, the quality is better. But for me, right, I think the second one, okay, the middle one, it is the best option for me at the moment. Yeah, so eventually I went on to buy the second one, okay, the middle price one. So I want to say that as a human, right, okay, we all prefer to live in groups, and we don't want to be the outliers or at the extremes. Okay, because the lowest one, it means that no, it is the lousiest, the cheapest. Okay, we don't want to be at that end, and we also don't want to be at the highest one. Okay, of course, it depends on different people. Okay, but most of us, we prefer to just get the middle one.
Yeah, actually, if you notice, right, especially when you buy ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
like there will be different sizes of the ice cream. Like for example, the smallest one,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a very small cup of ice cream, maybe just one scoop with no toppings at all.
Yeah.
And the middle one, maybe like two scoops of ice cream, but you can choose three toppings. And the third one is the one also with two scoops, but you can choose up to five toppings.
Mm.
And the price, right? Actually, the small one is actually usually the most expensive one, because one will For example, like maybe it costs $5, and the middle one, 2 scoops with 3 toppings will cost maybe like $8. And the last one usually is also very expensive, which is like $13, I think. So which one do you choose?
For me, right, when you say expensive, it means the value is not there, right? I mean to say, even though the price is the cheapest, but the value that you get is not the highest. So this is what we mean by expensive. So for me, right, I would choose the second one, because the most expensive one, of course, it has got more ingredients, but for me, right, I can see that with the price that I pay, I get the most valuable kind of items inside.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Because when you want to justify whether something is very cheap or very expensive, right? Actually, it's not by the price, but by the value itself. So whoever are listening to our podcast or watching our video right now, you can like comment below which ice cream will you buy, the first one, middle one, or the third one. Okay, then you would like to share the next law to us.
Yeah, the next law that Steven shared was this: avoid failing prey to the ostrich effect. So there is this. Okay, so Belle, let me ask you this question. When you wake up in the morning, do you read the messages, like WhatsApp messages?
Actually, I did, but after I have settled down, like I brush my teeth, wash my face, then after that I will read like anyone send me any messages.
Yeah. So when you were reading the messages, right? Are there some messages that you think that you are going to reply them, but not immediately? You will reply them, towards the end of the day or something. Is there any kind of experience like this?
Actually, I'm facing this every day because I think I have more important works are waiting for me, which need a lot of thinking. So I feel like, okay, noted, then I won't reply that soon because I'm going to think about the more important thing first. I will leave this until the end of the day, then only I will spend my energy, my like very last energy to reply to their messages.
Yeah, this is true to me as well. But when you think about this, okay, you want to leave the message till the end of the day, then only you reply to them. But throughout the day, would you have maybe some thoughts that, oh, I need to reply to this person at the end of the day? Like there might be some thoughts throughout the day. You will keep thinking about this. Am I right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so this is one example that you will kind of waste some energy. You waste some energy on thinking about you want to reply to those people at the end of the day. And then eventually, okay, somehow you also forget to reply them at the end of the day, and then eventually they just follow up on you, to ask you to go and reply to them. So this experience, right, kid, is that we tend to keep the problems, or we keep to ignore the problems, or we want to avoid uncomfortable conversations. Okay, so this scenario, it can actually lead to negative consequences in some extreme cases. Okay, so uh, what you want to do, right, is that you want to face the issues, or you want to settle the problems heads on. Okay, it is essential for effective decision making. So the problem that I asked you, it was actually quite an easy problem. Okay, so it is just a small matter. Okay, but for those bigger problems, right? Okay, what we want to do is we want to acknowledge, and then we address, okay, the underperformance or financial challenges promptly. Okay, so these are the bigger problems, rather than hoping that those problems, they will resolve themselves in order to prevent long-term damage.
Good example, Daniel. I will start to think about this, because like maybe yesterday or 2 days ago, somebody just text me to follow up. But I still like didn't reply to them because like I actually don't really know how should I reply to that message. Yeah, so maybe I should spend some time after this. Yeah, to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me share another like a more complex example.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, right, actually I realized that nursing is not going to be my life career. While it is a noble profession personally, I feel that it doesn't bring any value or fulfillment to me myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I ignore these feelings, right, I know things may get worse. I could end up feeling depressed and unable to serve people effectively, which would be unfair to both myself and those I care for.
Yeah, this is true.
Therefore, I decided to take action. I chose to leave the nursing field and pursue something I truly enjoy, much like my work with Empower Liion. This endeavor is not just a source of income for me, it is a passion that I wholeheartedly embrace. I want to create value for myself while dedicating all my efforts to serving others. This way, I ensure that my work is meaningful and fulfilling, both personally and professionally. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I think what you did here is right. Okay, you may be procrastinating on replying messages, but in terms of your future prospect, you are very proactively in thinking about solutions to solve them instead of waiting until your nursing career is stagnant, then only you think of the solutions. So I think you are doing the right way.
Yeah, I'm finally not an ostrich anymore. Okay, let's move on to law number 6, treat pressure as a privilege. So we have to embrace pressure as a positive force that helps you grow and improve. We have to view the stress responses as beneficial. As discussed in Kelly McGonigal's TED Talk, it can lead to better performance and health outcomes.
Yeah, I want to recall about the days when I was still working as an engineer, okay, after I graduated. Yeah, I what I did was that when I was working on my engineering job, I didn't like the job at all. Like uh very short time after I joined the company that I know I need to quit. Okay, so after 8 months, I finally settled everything. Okay, I've got a plan. Okay, what I wanted to do after I quit my job. Okay, so I just quitted it, like burning the bridge. Okay, so at that time I didn't have any backup plans like in the backup the other income. Okay, so I didn't have any other income. Okay, so back then right, I had no other ways but just to be fully focused on what I could do to create an income. Okay, so at that time, right, it was very pressuring for me because I only had about like 1 year worth of savings for me to live without a job. Okay, so back then I tried many ways throughout the year. I failed. Okay, but I didn't give up and I eventually built a financial education company. As I told you, I was an investing coach. Okay, so when I was thinking back right now, when I think back about quitting my job, right, I think it was a blessing in disguise. Although the action back then it looks pretty bad because I didn't have any income. Okay, but it was the exact experience that I made myself today. Okay, if I did not quit the job, right, I would think that I will still have income and I won't put in my 100% of the effort to make things happen and I will live a mediocre life. Can you say I will just be like most of the people in a society, just work on a job that they don't like, they just complain their boss, complain their company, but they just continue to go to the office every day. Okay, this is not what I want.
Yeah, I think Daniel are very, very brave. You're the bravest person I have ever met. Because if I were you, actually I might take some time to think like whether should I really leave the company without any backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the money is not the most important thing in our lives, but without money we cannot do the things that we want. Then I think yeah, really, really brave. And actually that incident true the result is you become a very successful person today. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would not advise anyone would just take this action without any planning. Okay, because for me, based on my situation back then, I could leave because I didn't have a family back then. I also don't have kids. Okay, so if you want to take an action, please take a serious consideration of your own situation. Yeah, so Belle, you can move on to the next and final law that we will talk about for today.
Okay, so the seventh law, which is our final law of the day, we have to always prioritize your first foundation, which is health. Your health is the foundational element upon which all other aspects of your life and success are built. Without good health, it becomes challenging to achieve and maintain success in other areas. This principle emphasizes that your body and mind are your most valuable assets, and taking care of them should be a top priority. So let me share a little bit of the story of Warren Buffett's. But let's share a story from Warren Buffett to illustrate this point. Buffett tells a hypothetical story where a genie offers a 16-year-old a brand new car, but with the condition that it is the only car that they will ever own. Knowing this, the young person would meticulously maintain and care for the car, ensuring it lasts a lifetime. Buffett used this analogy to emphasize that we only get one body and mind, and thus we must take great care of them to ensure they last a lifetime. So I think for nowadays, people always talk about health, right? But they only focus on those physical health. But I want to emphasize that other than physical health, actually mental health is really, really important at the same time.
Yeah, this is true. Like for myself, right, I always take time to not just exercise physically, but I also take time to meditate. So in terms of physical activities, I run for at least 2 to 3 times per week. And for every run, right, I run for at least 1 hour. And if it is raining outside, I will just switch to indoor exercises like training my abs or doing HIIT training. Okay, and then the other time, right, I will just meditate for 15-20 minutes about 3 to 4 times a week. Okay, because I realized this, I tested it for myself. If I don't exercise or if I don't meditate regularly, I cannot think of new ideas. And also my mood, right, it goes bad very fast. Okay, so this is what I have experienced, okay, with or without not taking care of your wellness, both physical and mental wellness. Okay, but I want to also acknowledge about this. Okay, I understand that most employees have they're having 9 to 5 jobs, really have no time to exercise after accounting for not just the working hours, but also the transportation to and fro, okay, and also other daily routines. Okay, so this is the reason, right, why these people have the highest chance to suffer from heart attack and depression. Okay, this is backed by research. Okay, so if you belong to this group, right, you need to really start noticing what your body or mind tells you about. Okay, so that's why, right, we actually created a free career focused audit to help you examine how much your current job is draining away your personal well-being. It just takes 7 minutes to know the results. So if you are interested, just click the link in the description or go to www.empoweredliion.com/CFA to get the free access. So coming back, right, the successful people that they always take care of their well-beings on top of just achieving their monetary results.
Yeah, so just now when we mentioned in law number 6, we say treat pressure as a privilege, right? Although sometimes stress and pressure, there are good stress, good pressure that can give you some motivation to work even harder. But you have to know that sometimes too much stress is not good. We have to achieve a balance. So if you feel that you are like really, really stressed, you cannot take it anymore, that's the time that you must tell someone else that you trust. Go to find someone else, for example, your parents, your friends, your siblings, or your partner, whoever you can trust, to talk about them so you can get some advice from them. And I think life will be easier for you.
Yeah, some of you may feel uncomfortable to talk to someone whom you know, so you can also look for a counselor. A trained counselor, right, is a very good resource to help you, find out the root cause of your stress and then give you some ways, some solutions to alleviate your situation.
Yeah, we really hope that we can see a healthy and successful you. So to conclude, in this episode, Daniel and I focus on the top 7 laws that resonate most with our experiences and goals. These include prioritizing life professional aspect in correct order, the power of teaching to master a skill, the strategy of asking binary questions to promote action, utilizing the Goldilocks effect in decision making, facing challenges head-on, viewing pressure as a privilege, and always prioritizing health as the foundation of all success. Join us as we explore these transformative principles that are designed to elevate your professional and personal life. For those seeking a deeper connection to their career fulfillment, don't miss out on our free career fulfillment audit, available at www.empoweredliion.com/CFA. Tune in, get inspired, and start shaping your journey to greatness with Empowered Liion. Stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.